Please be seated. Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Drury. I'm the chairman of the Board of Governors here, and it's my very pleasant duty indeed to welcome you here today. Welcome everyone. Let me start with a question. Might seem obvious. Why are you here? What has brought us together? To receive a degree? Maybe. To kiss some relatives? Doubtless. A chance to take pride in a really worthwhile achievement? Definitely. Those are all decent reasons to be here, but there's a wider dimension to this. More than anything else, I think we're here to celebrate the power and potential of education and learning. Education is a force for good in our society, not only for the skills it bestows and for the personal fulfillment it gives us, but for the way that education brings people together. Education has a common purpose, a shared endeavour, and goodness knows that's something the world needs right now. But industrial and other employers understand the importance of common purpose at a team level too. One of the reasons that our graduates are in such demand is that you are used to working creatively and reliably in collaborative and diverse teams. Of course, we're immensely proud of our exuberant and diverse student body, but it's not just because it makes life fun and exciting, nor even because it's so patently and obviously right that we should reflect all parts of society. The world needs people who can work confidently and happily among people of different cultures. That experience, that I expect you happily take for granted, is something that good employers value very much. And the whole of society will benefit too. You understand collaboration and diversity, and you have valuable skills. You are the complete package. Or are you? Is this the end of a journey or a beginning? Both, of course. What we're celebrating here is your achievement of a staging post, a point of arrival, but a point of departure too. I remember when I left university, I was lucky enough to have a couple of job offers, and I asked my father which he thought I should take. He said he didn't really know enough about each of them to advise me, but one thing he said he knew for certain. He said, "Go to where you'll learn most." He realized, in a way that I only came to realize later, that learning is a lifetime pursuit, and that it's super valuable. We don't ever stop. We mustn't ever stop. If we do, our lives will be poorer, mentally, and frankly, financially too. One of the things that university should have given you, and frankly we've failed if we haven't, is a mental toolkit that will help you to keep learning throughout your life. I think this is one of the key differences between a purely vocational training and a university degree. Incidentally, not long after my father died, I thought back over his advice to me all those years ago. You know, he was a man with a rather strong Russian accent. For a few moments, I did wonder whether he had said to me, "Go to where you'll learn most," or go to where you'll earn most. I had indeed taken the lower salary in the place that would teach me more. I don't regret it. I'm pretty sure neither did my father. So we congratulate you and celebrate your journey today. Nobody could ever accuse you of having achieved your degrees, this staging post, by accident. We all know there's been some hard work on the way. But so it is with Ravensbourne itself. Ravensbourne has reached an important stage in our own development too. This year we have proudly become Ravensbourne University London. We expect that the power to award our own degrees will bring substantial benefits, not least of being fleet of foot and independent. Like your degrees, our university status has come as a result of hard, detailed work, sustained over many years. The next stage in Ravensbourne's development is just beginning. On behalf of the board, I'd like to thank all the staff and students, present and past, who've contributed to our achievement of university status. I'd especially like to thank Professor Linda Drew, our University Vice-Chancellor, in fact our first University Vice-Chancellor, who has led the charge. And I'm particularly pleased to welcome Linda now to address you. Thank you, everyone. Congratulations. Enjoy the day. Linda.
Well, good afternoon and welcome. I'd like to say a very big welcome to the Mayor of the Royal Borough of Greenwich, our friends and guests from the University of the Arts London, and particularly to all of you, our graduates, your families, your friends, and our special guests. A big welcome here to the Barbican. And as I am the first Vice-Chancellor of this university, I feel really proud and privileged to lead the graduation ceremonies today, the first we're hosting since gaining our new title, Ravensbourne University London. It's been such a busy and exciting year for us, and we've got an incredible amount to celebrate. I will move on to some of those achievements, but I wanted to say a few thank yous. There's always a lot of thank yous at these kind of events, and for all the right reasons. Firstly, I'm going to say some thank yous to some of the people that are sitting behind us here, to the course leaders, the tutors, the wider academic community at Ravensbourne. You have so helped our students develop in not just their technical, but also their personal skills, the skills that they've needed to enable them to flourish in their chosen specialism. I also particularly wanted to mention our student services staff, those that are study skills tutors, welfare and employment support teams, those that have been helping our graduates to get jobs and to get on in the world. They've provided an amazing support network to our students outside of teaching hours. I'd also like to say a very big thank you to the unsung heroes of the afternoon, and that's you, the parents, the mums, the dads, the relatives, the carers, the girlfriends, the boyfriends, the significant others, for encouraging and supporting all of the students who are graduating today. We're really pleased to have you here to share in celebrating our graduates' successes. So, of course, I'm going to say it again, the big news for us this year has been the honour of receiving our university title from the Privy Council in May, an extremely proud moment in our history and one that many of our teams have worked incredibly hard to bring about. But we're not here just to celebrate that. Today's really about you, the students who've helped make Ravensbourne the vibrant, diverse and creative university it is. You've excelled throughout the year. A number of you winning some quite significant industry awards. I'm just going to mention a few of them, not all of them, but some significant ones. In 2018, 4 student projects, and that's a significant amount, triumphed at the D&AD New Blood Awards. This is an annual international showcase which brings together the best new creative talent. At this year's New Designers Festival, product design student Sarah Sagiante was given the Lego Award for her non-gendered toy, encouraging children to embrace difference. We also had 5 students recognised at Graduate Fashion Week. And if this wasn't enough, one of our broadcast students, Max May, won the International Moving Image Society Award. And we know industry recognition is critical to the success of our students, but this is also extended to our staff and alumni in the Ravensbourne community. Alice Tomlinson, one of our sessional lecturers, was named Photographer of the Year at the Sony World Photography Awards, and Maurice Cumber, our work-based learning coordinator, was named in the Creative Review's Creative Leaders Top 50, and that's such a well-deserved recognition for her work. She has set up the youth homelessness charity Accumulate. Another of our proudest moments this year was during the royal wedding, and I'm sure many of you tuned in, even if it was only to get the sum up at the end. But what we noticed and were very proud of was that 2 Ravensbourne alumni, Claire Waite-Keller, who's the design director at Givenchy, and Stella McCartney, were selected by the Duchess of Sussex to design her dresses for the royal wedding. We were then delighted to welcome Claire back to Ravensbourne earlier this year to view the work of our students for the degree show earlier this year, and she spent a whole afternoon with fashion students. I know many of you here will have met her, and she was really generous with her time. In my time as an undergraduate student, I studied fashion design myself, and one of the things I thought of at the time, when you are a student of any kind, you can't often see beyond the next few years, and what I really wanted to be was the best designer I could be. I wanted to make a name for myself in design. What I did learn, and when I look back on that and reflect what I learned from that experience, I learned so much more than just designing, or making, or sewing. I learned a lot of things about the things around being a resilient person, being self-reliant, being independent and resourceful, and sometimes being a little bit bossy, which is probably a good thing too. And no doubt for you, there'll be some unexpected twists and turns ahead of you all. And what I say to all of you is embrace them. Embrace that change and be confident, because you're all going to be equipped for an extremely bright future. Now, that's the end of my official speech, but one of the fantastic things that we're able to do at our graduation ceremonies every year is honour some of our amazing alumni and honour them for the achievements that they've made in industry and beyond. And so what I'm going to do at this point, we have an award to give to one of our alum. I'm going to welcome to the stage Andy Osho, if you'd like to come and stand right next to me. Hello, Andy. So I've got the great pleasure of conferring the title of Honorary Fellow. Andy studied here. She studied television programme operations at Ravensbourne, and she completed the Higher National Diploma in 1993. She worked in post-production and in broadcast operations after finishing her studies, and then she went on to establish a career as an actor. Also a writer and an award-winning stand-up comedian and filmmaking in the mid-2000s. She's appeared in a variety of programmes that you may well have seen, like Mock the Week, Waking the Dead, and given performances as a stand-up comedian at Reading Festival, Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow, Live at the Apollo, and many, many more. So Andy's also been equally successful as a writer. Her comedy horror short, Twin Things, was recently broadcast on Sky Arts. She wrote and starred in her own E4 sketch show pilot, The Andy O Show. And her triple award-winning short film, Brit I Am, has screamed at film festivals around the world, and you can Google that and look at it online as well. We're extremely proud of Andy, as we are of all our alumni at Ravensbourne University London. This summer, we invited Andy back to the university for our degree show, and I know she was incredibly impressed with the calibre of all the work that you produced. So it gives me an enormous pleasure to confer this award to Andy Osho today. Andy, I'd like to welcome you to the podium to say a few words. Okay, thank you.
Okay. trying to steal the water that's down here. Good afternoon, everyone. Don't feel like you have to answer, it's fine. Hi, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank Ravensbourne University, fancy university, for this award. Hashtag Real Talk, I didn't actually know what an honorary fellowship was. I had to Google it to make sure they hadn't signed me up for like a pyramid scheme or something. But it turns out it's a good thing, so thank you. I'm particularly honoured to be conferred with this honour on your, now that you've moved into this new site, because when I went to Ravensbourne, it was a college, and it was in Chislehurst, surrounded by fields. Like, your new building is very fancy. You've got lifts, what we wouldn't have given for lifts. We had to use something called stairs. But we didn't use them very often because, like, the building only had 2 floors, and all that was upstairs were engineering students. So, you know, we didn't go up there. But what I really like, having seen the new building, is that you've brought over some of the old features from the Chislehurst site, like Jeremy Barr, which is fantastic. See, I said to them they wouldn't get that. They wouldn't know who he was. But he's a professor. Anyways, this is... where am I? So I wanted to come here, and I wanted to just offer you some words of inspiration, but actually I wasn't completely sure where to start, so I actually asked my mum, and so I said to her, you know, what should I say to them? And she said, well, just tell them they're brilliant. I was like, yeah, but, you know, what if they're not? This is before I met you, you know, you seem great. So she said, well, you know, you just tell them anyway. I said, all right. And she said, what else? And she said, well, tell them the future is bright. But I was like, Mom, but what if it isn't? She said, you just want to encourage them. Is that helpful? I said, no. So what I did is I went onto the interweb and I found some quotes, because I always feel like quotes are inspiring and they manage to kind of capture an idea perfectly. So think of this next part as more like a live action meme, just for you guys. So I've got 10 of these quotes for you. The first of which is, don't worry, be happy, Bobby McFerrin. So as your head wizard correctly said, We're good. I studied program operations in 1993. Don't try and work out my age. If there's any directors in here, all you need to know is my casting age is 28. You remember 28? I came to Ravensbourne when I was 5. So after Ravensbourne, I had a really great career. I worked in post-production, I worked in broadcast technology, and I even worked for an internet startup. And I did that for 10 years, but something for me wasn't quite right. Something was missing. And I realized that I still had this really strong desire to perform. So I'm obviously not telling you to leave your chosen professions and join the circus or something like that. But what I'm really getting at is just to make sure that whatever you choose to do, whichever direction you go in, that you make sure that it makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether other people understand your choices or whether they get them. All that matters is that you're happy in what you do. So that's my first quote, don't worry, be happy. And my second is, education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school, Albert Einstein. You're so fortunate to have studied at Ravensbourne, and you'll be surprised when and how the knowledge that you've acquired here will serve you. Sometimes I lay out cables at home in a figure of 8 just for old time's sake. Engineering joke. I mean, this killed this morning. But even when I was sat behind a desk at Mock the Week, what I had learned on a program operations course in 1993 was still useful to me. I knew what everyone was doing around me. I knew what all the kit was for. I knew to turn my microphone off when I went to the toilet. So it was always useful, always useful. Now, I want you to take a moment to take a look to the people to your left and to your right. Just have a look at who's beside you. The reason I ask you to... some people are really doing that literally. A lot of people are going... but the reason, guys, I ask you to do that is because the people beside you are going to be your peers forever. You're like, really? Even that guy? Yeah, even him. My class recently met up, and it was amazing. Obviously, I didn't go. Why do I want to hang out with those jokers, right? No, I did. I live in LA. Otherwise, I think that the last bus would have left me a little bit stranded. Otherwise, I would have been there with bells on. But often, when we're trying to get somewhere in the industry, we fixate and get obsessed with trying to network upwards. But actually, network laterally. Think of the people who are around you. Never forget your peers and the difference that they can make to your career and that you can make to them. Stay connected with them across all the disciplines. So you guys know a bunch of people who work in TV and all kinds of different areas of design. Stay in touch with them. Make films together. Hire each other. Advise each other. Take care of each other. My third quote is an old African proverb. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And work hard. We often think of successful people as lucky, but luck is just the place where opportunity and preparation intersect. Some people say that you can have whatever you want, but that's only true if you work hard for it. And I think that my fourth quote sums that up best. Bite down, it was crunch time. Yeah, I skipped all them bitches in the lunch line. I put in work, now I'm here at the front line. It was Theresa May. Oh, my bad, sorry, it's Cardi B, but they sound so similar, don't you find? Honestly, yeah. They're just so similar. I would love Theresa May to rap one day, but anyways, we can but dream. Quote number 5 is about believing in yourself. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's your choice. Nothing is impossible unless you say it is. You've got people making feature films with iPhones and designers making dresses out of garbage. Literally, nothing is impossible. Quote number 6 is about following your dreams and dreaming big. Ava DuVernay, the director, said, if your dreams don't involve other people, then your dreams are not big enough. That doesn't mean that you have to change the world. It just means you change your corner of it. Quote number 7 is about making shit happen. Either do or do not do. There is no try. Who said that? My geeks in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Yoda said it. And on that note of making shit happen, you are the future of your industry. Conversations on diversity are endless, and to me sometimes they get a little bit tedious because I think now is the time for action, not just conversation. So as the future of the industry, it's on your shoulders to ensure that representation and inclusion continues, not just around race and gender, but sexual orientation, disability, social groups, and religious groups as well, age, everything. Do what you can to have our media reflect the way the world and society truly is. Let people feel seen. Remember this when you hire people, when you mentor people, when you create, when you watch content, and when you make it. In fact, whenever you interact and impact the arts, think about what you can do to progress us, because media shapes society. Theodore Melfi, the director of the film Hidden Figures, said, "You have a responsibility to make inclusion a daily thought so we can get rid of the word inclusion." That's quote number 8. And one final thought, try not to get so obsessed with an end goal that you forget to just live your life. You know, it's easy to lose touch with the present moment because you're so intent on achieving a goal. And even when you get there, you've already set another target and you go racing after that like a triathlete who keeps adding one more event to the end of their race. You have graduated from one of the best design and media universities in the world. You've already won, guys. Everything else is just icing on the cake. A palliative nurse wrote a book on regret, and she discovered that some of the biggest regrets of the dying, i.e. people who are literally on their deathbeds, Some of those regrets were, I wish I'd lived in the now. I wish I'd pursued my dreams. I wish I'd had the courage to live truthfully. I wish I'd stayed in touch. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I hadn't worried so much. I wish I'd been happier. But the biggest regret, of course, was I wish I had tried cocaine. So... I don't know why you lot are applauding, because your parents are here, so... All right, okay, the cocaine one wasn't one, but it could have been. Who knows? Anyway, my point is, you are embarking on an amazing journey. At times it will seem tough, unachievable, and pointless, but in a moment it can be transformed and something great and unexpected can happen. So whilst heading to your destiny or your destination, never lose sight of the fact that as human beings, our ultimate goal should always, always be joy. Experiencing it and giving it. Quote number 9, Maya Angelou said, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget the way you made them feel. I don't actually have a 10th quote because that's you guys. You are the 10th quote. You're the wise words. You're the ambassadors for this institution. You are the inspired thought of a place called Ravensbourne. You are brilliant. You are great. So go out there and change the world. Thank you.
Wow, follow that. And you know what? You will be following that. So thank you, Andy, Dream Big, Osho, for inspiration and humour in equal measure. I'm now going to ask Professor Lawrence Zegan to introduce the graduands. Thank you.
Chance for a bottle of water. Right, thank you, Linda. It gives me great pleasure to present to you the graduates from the School of Design for 2018. And we will start with students from BA Hons Architecture. Thank you. Jabril Adar. Sarah Alexandra Agil. Lloyd Akuaku. Thank you. Adina Arif. Imran Buchanan Bailey. Toby John Carlion. Giselle Valentina Castrillon. Anur Kanselik. Andrew Ho-Lam Chu. Thomas Jonathan David Jack Christie. Minaratu Tijan Koka. Is it Katrina? Catriona Rebecca Freen. Susan Gurung. Thank you. Mohammed Abdul Qayyum. Charles Pur Shan Mun Man Kai. Hamza Khan. Anastasia Kumi. Pavni Kwa Lali. Tundarai Prince Mabarike. Priscilla Mensa. Arif Faisal Mohab. Sid Ali Abdi Omar. Aaron Tamidia Odasola Osinoga. Thank you. Shipen Pastriku. Marina Rossello Kanabi. Alexander Charles Tanak Cook. Seda Tezbasa. Trung Duan Tran. And now we move to the first graduating cohort for BA Hons Design and Coding. Adam Ray Braun. Scott Reynolds. And now for BA Hons Design Products. Thank you. Yu Won Chan. Andrew Davis. Charlie Hudson. Leah Melissa Ofusu Osei. Charlotte Piasniak. Charlie Pisapero. Thanks. Nicholas Sataras Prodrumuru. Thank you. William Richards. Thank you. Julia Semenji. Harry Sprong. Lewis or Louis? Lewis. Louis. Joseph Louis Storr. Cynthia Janet Wambu Wathaka. Daniel Wright. And now for BA Hons Digital Advertising and Design. Thomas Alberti. Joshua George Burgess. Katerina May Prasafi. Joseph Durr. Bellis Enver. May Gallego Sanchez. Thank you. David George. Emily Hathaway. Kashan Azoa Hines. Yasim Isi Korosilik. Emily Anna McAleer. Manira May. Courtney Josephine O'Sullivan. Petru Karlin Onu. Daniel James Purdy. Mark Anthony Smith. Jordan Siu Hong To. Vilda Rostu Tobiasen. Cindy Love Tonetto. And now for BA Honours Fashion. Lucy Ann Baker. Thank you. Magdalena Bowanska. Megan Louise Casey. Carolina Katrina Daskitiate. Megan Laura Day. Ini Fakoya. Thank you. Fatima Faruqi. Grace Annie Flood. Chantal Xuan Pei Guan. Isabel Hibbert. Alexia Kwateng Amaning. Rebecca Sarah Laval Bowden. Denisa Mehmeti. Fatima Minana. Viviane Nadine Montiero Susla Melo. Isabella Pierce Neapolo. Lydia Usting. Emma Louise Purley. Celine Michelle Gislan Pelordery. Madeline Rosie Smith. And now for BA Hon's fashion accessory design. Isabel Lydia Batkin. George Zara Crandon. Beatrice Del Grande Seabright. Marie-Louise Fischer. Waranda Jangwankon Lipa. Sajiha Kanom. Toya Mehmet. Jiang Hun Ho. And now for the first graduating class for BA Hon's Fashion Buying and Brand Management. There we go. Agna Akalaiti. Katie Joyner Karen Ando. Rarup Kaur Bagari. Jennifer Belkin. Chelsea Ann Boyce. Emily Sarah Elise Bullen. Abeni Diane Cavalho. Thank you. Abisha Shakti Koom. Millie Grace Court. Olivia Grace Edward. Tara Emily Ford. Holly Jane Foxon. Tamara Gordon. David Nathaniel Ryan Greenaway. Laura Emily Holloway. Bolu Watifi Mojapiola Jaboda. Nicole Marie Keitch. Can I ask? Kira. Kira Kelly. Amber Louise Lawrence. Ellie Nancy May Lawrence. Holly Madeline Lovey. Anna Lowe. El May Morlang. Abigail Naomi Sinclair. Amy Rose Smile. Natalie Rebecca Smith. Shannon Victoria Stokes. Sophie Holly Summerfield. Lynn Thee Thom Van Leeuwen. Katie Leanne Vincent. Teresa Wanjinku Mwangi. Daisy Elizabeth Wright. Hannah Zenuli. And now for BA Honours Fashion Promotion. Thank you. Zanab Raliutu Aminu. Antonia Sophia Antonio. Christina Athanasopoulou. Charlotte Octavia Atkinson. Alexander Eric Barnes-Ross. Georgie Ann Binns. Georgia Alina Bobar. Aliyah Rihanna Bovell. Danielle Bruce. Nicole Mariana Ciambriello. Nicole Clark. George Da Silva. Megan Grace Davies. Soraya Cara Simone Gale. Eloise Liddy Diane Gentry Hearn. Rebecca Emily Hart. James Healy. Courtney Christine Heary. Hannah Louise Emily Jackson. Thank you. How are you? Good. Nadia Iman Kamara. Rosa Naomi Kimbembe. Victoria Cordil. Jessica Marie Lowry. Amanda Manday. Thank you. Mika Timaya Mackenzie. Naomi Morales. Angel Mapofu. Aliki Iona Whaley. Charlie Amy Press. Holly Robson. Isabel Victoria Shuri. Rebecca Rowena Small Wynn. Thank you. Cara Smith. Martha Southon. Charlotte Stewart. Victoria Sutton. Crystal Rose Thomas. Ngadi Naomi Myrtle Marcia Bandy. Georgia Faith White. Hui Ching Zarina Yu. And now for BA Honours Graphic Design. Edward Agyenim. James Raphael Armstrong. Andrew Martin James Baker. Satnam Sang Bansal. Celine Siddhartha Benson. Yarvin Blake. May Louise Bradshaw. Corinne Harrison Brennan. Patrick Graham Ball. Joseph Carls. Ellen Hope Cartwright. Eleni Elizabeth Calcott. Mason James Connolly. Philippe Costa. Charlotte Lauren Cownley. Lauren Leanne Davis. Natasha Dawson. Sergei Efimov. Istaik Mohammed Naushad Fahim. Tyler Archie Pond Field. Callum Michael Fitzgibbon. Julie Gathurg. Edwin Javier Garcia Curay. Sarah Garelli. Jack Ross Glennon. Olivia Goddard. Sarah Joan Michelle Goodman. Yethan Gopal. Darius Gorodekis. Luke Gray. Luke Robert Griffiths. Nathaniel Richard Hensor. Sophie Louise Howard. Alamin Hussain. Simran Judge. Laura King. Jessica Julian. Natasha Ellen Langford. Oliver Charles Lester Lenan. Moira Letby. Glenn Henry Lizarondo. Linda Law. Gino Michele Marks. Khalid Marquis. Alana Rose Sylvia Jean Masters. Abby Caroline McLennan Dawkins. Lenalisa Onalas Mendoza. Daniel Paul Stewart Miller. Simon Mulinash. Valentin Nicholas John Montien. Charles Anthony James Morgan. Lauren Murphy. Anastasia Nikolaeva. Nikolai Todorov Nikolaev. I'm going to give it a good go, okay? Abisola Aluesamarasola Ajibiki Oshikoya. Carolina Laxmi Osvark. Connor James Reed. Sherin Angelina Sanir. Nadine Sophia Vilhena Santos. Albert Salimi. Nihal Shah. Georgina May Smith. Grace Louisa Adams States. Thank you. Joshua Apeminian. Jacob Chalmand. Leo George Terry. Savan Sang Fethi. Judy Lad Huang Tran. Diana Nicole Villagomez Rojas. Moses Wananana. Isabella Carolina Wodzinska. Phew. Anil Khan Yilmaz. Anna Borgemita Zulika. And now for BAON's Interior Design Environment Architectures. Sueda Omar Farah Abdul. Adia Akapisofa. Rokia Jamal Al-Safar. Giovanni Balsano. Chunia Begum. Hakiran Kwa Bandol. Adash Kumar Budhu. Sebda Sabesi. Gemma Allison Chapman. Simone Chapman. Maisie Esther Cooper. Vincenzo D'Amato. Gerald Jason Darko. Melissa Dink. Handai Ebsen. Isabella Fancello. Andre Frias. Alice Atlantique Galtruco. Guiliana Florella Giorgi. Yasmin Guna. Emma Jean Harris. Anika Joseline Erie. Saba Kasemi. Meryl Joy Lafleur. Summer Page Lone. Manuela Mangeras Pena. Chanel Faye McIntosh. Zechariah Mia. Natalie Aisha Mirza. Thea Kurin Uma Latorano. Berlin Lola Marie Venice Neville. Muna Ruhid Shahub. Mina Syed. Mohammed Abdullah Asha Suku. Daisy Tucson. And now for BA Honours Motion Graphics. Chem Joseph Axelan. Sarah Hannah Amdani. Georgina Julia Bascom. Gabriella Doyle. Nawara Karang. Anthony George Hollis. Madila Hussain. Lewis or Louis? Different one entirely. Sean Keane. Maria Juliet Kivakud. Cameron Stewart Mitchell. Thank you. Bokyong Park. Thank you. Rafi Rahman. Nathaniel Frederick Sadler. Thomas Håkon Sanford. Samuel Singleton. Shona Elizabeth Watts. Annabelle Wing Yi Yao. Zain Zaman. And now we move to postgraduate courses in the School of Design, and we start with the postgraduate certificate in teaching and learning for creative courses. Naomi Alicia Gray. Levi Williamson. And now for MSc Applied Technologies, Rapid Prototyping and Digital Technologies. Khadija Radwan Abdelgawad Radwan Elmonji. Aliana Escura. Anda La Hidalga Alzola. Viola Siegling. And now for MA Communication Design. Laysan Bashirova. Sarah Douse. Denz Jovel de Chavez Salcines. Diego Sanguino. And now for MDes Design Management Innovation. Chang Ting Lui. Anna Thorpe. And now for MA Fashion. Wen Hui Chiang. Valentina Favaro. Samina Hafiz. Hui Peng Huang. Ho Jiang Huan. And now for MA Interactive Digital Media. Thank you. Richard Gallen. Thank you. Kathleen Hornstein. And now for MSc Interactive Digital Media. Tanat Grian Komo. Now for MDes Luxury Brand Management Innovation. Moving swiftly on to MA Moving Image. Sorapong Diwanjin. Maria Eugenia Hernandez Carrillo. Horia Victor Monturno. Kaya Skrbrinske. Thank you. And now for MDes Social Innovation. Thank you. Pascal Mayer. Benjamin Thomas Norsworthy. Well done, good rating. Maria Schmoller. That concludes the awards for the graduates from the School of Design 2018. And I'd now like to introduce to you, to make an address on behalf of the graduating students, Alex Charles Tanak-Cook, the President for Ravensbourne Student Union. Alex, to the stage, please.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, staff, tutors and fellow graduates. It's a huge honour to be speaking in front of you today as President of Ravensbourne Student Union. Today is a culmination of all we've worked so hard for during our studies, a day I'm sure we'll all remember for many years to come. I'd like to start by thanking the previous SU team for being a shoulder to lean on during my studies, and I'm sure the same for many of you. I'm sure they did the same, and we plan to provide similar support during our own tenure. The SU team has progressed greatly since I began my term as president in July. We've recruited 2 additional part-time members, Kabir Barakai and Mason Connolly, who sits somewhere in this room. The SU for many years has had a strong relationship with students at Ravensbourne University. For this academic year, we're keen to further progress our relationships, providing support in all aspects, academic and personal. There have been many achievements that we can talk about today. As students, we were afforded opportunity few other universities offer. Personally, I studied architecture and had a great time during my 3 years at Ravensbourne. Throughout my course, the university not only prepared me to progress academically, but developed skills which could be applied to my personal ventures, something far beyond my expectations. A personal experience that resonates with me would be a trip that we went on in the first year, first term, to Barcelona. Thanks to the architecture department, my course cohort were given the opportunity to gain a greater insight into the professional world that awaits us after finishing our degree. I'm sure my experiences mirror many of your own, and I have no doubt the knowledge you've gained from them will lead you on to do great things in the future. These experiences were some of the most important during our time at Ravensbourne. They were the times when we were able to experience what working in industry was really like and prepare ourselves to be adaptable, free-thinking and motivated. Again, I would like to thank all of the teaching staff at Ravensbourne for giving us these opportunities. You simply don't get at other universities. The chance to practice your craft in the real world before you've even graduated. There are many people that make Ravensbourne the friendly, welcoming and exciting place it is to be. However, I'd like to thank all members of staff from Ravensbourne for their work over the past 3 years, and I'd like to also extend my thanks to all teaching staff for their consistent effort over the period that we were here. I would like to say a huge thank you to the people behind the scenes that go unnoticed, which would be professional services, marketing, events, outreach team, and the facilities management. I would also like to say the biggest thank you to families and friends that have supported us over our past 3 years. You've helped us through difficult times, laughed, cried, and celebrated with us. This is your day as much as it is ours, so thank you. And finally, congratulations to the class of 2018. I feel honoured to have shared my time at Ravensbourne with you and can't wait to see what the chapter has in store in the future. So from myself and Ravensbourne, a massive thank you.
And he just got his degree as well, so congratulations, Alex. It's my duty to close proceedings. The last thing you want right now is a long speech, but I do think I'm just going to go off-piste for a second and ask that we just give a really, really rousing Barbican cheer to the people who've made it. Thank you. That's the close of proceedings. Can I ask you to stand, please? And in order to avoid an unseemly rush, if you'd allow the people from the stage to leave the auditorium first, I'd be grateful. Thank you again.